Hi, I'm John Longstreet here with another edition of PRLA Short Takes, and I'm excited to have with me today my friend Larry Reinstein. Larry is the president, CEO, and founder of LJR Hospitality Ventures. Larry is a longtime restaurateur, has been in the business as long as I've been in it, and also a classmate of mine. But in LJR Hospitality Ventures, Larry is one of the foremost experts on helping businesses grow well, and also in branding. And he's consulted with restaurant companies across the United States over the years, and really has a good business model. However, that business model has been changing since we got into the crisis that we're in the middle of right now. And I thought it might be interesting to talk to Larry about what he did before the crisis and what he's been doing to help his customers now. So Larry, welcome to Short Takes. Great to have you with me today.
Thanks, John. It's a pleasure to be here. The world has certainly changed over the last few months. My career started out, as you know, as a restaurateur. So I've been an operator up until the last 6 years. Over the last 6 years, I primarily have helped emerging brands grow. I've helped founders, I've helped small companies, I've helped private equity people take restaurant concepts and get them to the next level. And it's been very exciting. Well, suddenly 3 months ago, it became about how do we help people with their challenge? How do we get people to stop, think, and pivot? Because we are in a new world right now. So it's been challenging, but exciting because we're making incredible impact.
I know you are extremely helpful to your clients, and I've seen the results of your work. In this case, can you talk about not necessarily by name, but a particular client you've helped who's really made the best of this very bad situation?
Yes, I've worked with several clients, but one client in particular who has about a dozen full service restaurants. And as everybody knows, quick serve has been impacted, so been full service and fast casual. So in this full service situation, we pivoted, we stopped, and we said, okay, how can we really do a great job with off-premise business? And we put together a system and approach. We quickly got mobile ordering up and going strong, changed the layout of the operation in terms of how we were going to handle it. And we started opening restaurants one by one. We didn't open them all at once, but we said, okay, let's get the systems down. Let's get our management team slowly but surely back. Let's get some key team members back and really pivoted the business. And now the dining rooms are opening up. And I would say that we're not where we want to be yet, but we're not victims. We are energized and we're doing something about it, and we're going to create a business model that works. I've also worked with this client with landlords, because landlord-tenant negotiations is critical. We have to be fair to the landlords, but we have to be fair to us, the tenants, and going through that process, and just the whole process of how are we going to deal with our suppliers properly. How are we going to deal with ourselves? How are we going to deal with our team? It's been a very challenging time, but an exciting time as we've made progress.
Hey, Larry, from starting with the part about kind of pivoting their business model to do more with takeout and delivery, I'm assuming, is this a organization that wasn't doing much takeout before?
Very limited. Primarily, probably a business about 95% dine-in. And we've got a real significant off-premise business, and one of the challenges and opportunities is how to maintain that business, because it's here to stay. And things like family packs and meal kits and all kinds of other tactics can be utilized that the guest really wants. So this has worked, and it's something that I think in the long run for restaurateurs that work it out will help make their business better than it was before once we get through this pandemic.
So is that to say you're telling them they need to maintain this takeout model that they have now, the family packs and things, even while they have in dining room business, because there's not going to be as much in-restaurant business as there was in the past?
Yes, I believe it's critical, especially depending upon your concept. I see, private dining and banquets slowed down considerably, catering slowed down considerably. So we have to find different opportunities to grow our revenue. And off-premise done well, I think curbside is a terrific opportunity now because it's contactless and it's really easy for the consumer. So it's another opportunity for us to take advantage of.
On the lease front, were you finding that your clients didn't consider the idea that they could go out and negotiate with their landlord for some better terms under the circumstances?
I think at first everybody was in a panic, and in many cases people were they were on automatic payment schedules with landlords, and they were just paying. And I think it was time to stop and discover and work together with landlords. Landlords come from a different position. Some are owned by individuals, some are owned by big companies, banks, financing companies. Everybody has a different approach. So it was critical to find out what the landlord needs and then figure out what you can afford to pay. So it's working together. In some cases, it works extremely well. In some cases, it doesn't. But I think it's most important, we have to negotiate individually with each landlord and make a difference and come up with a program that works for us. I also think operators need to consider that there may be locations they have that just aren't profitable, and they need to think about how to deal with them as well.
So now that restaurants are getting open again, and they're bringing people into their dining rooms, into their restaurants, what's the one piece of advice you would, because I see restaurants all over the board. Some are saying, oh, I can't open because I can't operate with less than 100% capacity. I have others say I'm afraid to open because I might not be able to get my staff back. And then others are opening and doing quite well. What's one piece of advice you would give to a restaurateur as they're facing this threshold today?
The most important thing is we need to engage. If we have multiple locations, I recommend getting one open, learning from that, rather than making the mistakes everywhere. We need to create a safe environment. We need to create an environment that's conducive to everyone, that's concerned with our own team members, that's concerned with our guests, that takes into consideration the off-premise, and really just all works together. But I would tell you quickly, we can learn how to come up with a business model that will be okay. Again, right now, I think part of what we have to do is be cash flow positive. Doesn't mean make a lot of money, but I think folks that learn how to be cash flow positive, that also work collectively. You need to work with your banks. You need to work with all people involved with the business. This is a collaborative team effort. They will be long-term players, and they will become significant opportunity in the restaurant business to grow.
So Larry, you're based in Dallas, right in the heart of the country, and you have clients all over the country, and typically you go to them, but I assume that you're still meeting with your national clients and probably doing it virtually, is that right?
Yes, it's different because I love my clients. I love spending time with them. We create strong relationships. So right now it's Zoom calls and it's time on the phone. And I look forward to being out together with my clients again soon, because it just, it feels good being inside the restaurants and literally touching everything and talking to the staff and talking to management. So we're doing it a little bit differently.
So Larry, is it safe to assume that you're just as busy, just in a different way now as you've always been?
Yes, the business has changed, but it's all about helping people. And what I would say to everyone is, you can do it almost all the time. There are certain situations that people won't tell you the truth, that there is no solution for it. But I would tell you the great majority of the time, if we just think a little bit differently, and the fun for me is challenging people not to think emotionally, but to think objectively. And we can come up with the right approach and win.
Well, Larry, I know you're a problem solver, and I know you know the importance of dealing with people and focusing on people. So I really appreciate you taking the time to spend a little bit of your time with me today. It's good to see you.
John, it's always a pleasure to spend time with you, and keep doing the great work you're doing up in Pennsylvania. You're making a heck of a difference for a lot of people.
Well, we have a great team, and it is beginning to get gratifying now that we're getting open again. Thanks again, Larry, for being on. I'm John Longstreet with another edition of PRLA Short Takes. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again next time.